At a scenario where Sweden forms an empire, as you see they are painted red, so you know what nation they are. Sweden starts with invading Estonia as they are a smaller country and could benefit from future invasions of, for example, Finland and Latvia. Swedish troops would quickly take over the two Latvian islands and would quickly move in towards Tallinn and would quickly capture the city from the Estonians, with them capitulating or surrendering. As in the peace treaty, Estonia gets fully annexed by the Swedes, and they now turn into an incorporated state or county in Sweden. Sweden declares war then on Latvia as historic borders and could still benefit a lot from, I don't know what, just something. They would quickly move past the border of Latvia and make a landing in the west, as they would then surround Riga with its troops. Riga would be taken as Latvia would forced to surrender to the Swedish forces. As in the peace treaty, Latvia gets fully annexed. So yeah, Sweden would now declare war against Finland, as they have been part of Sweden for many years. Finland would push into the northern parts of Estonia as Sweden is preparing at the border. Sweden would do great progress at the Finnish border and take over Finland's panhandle, and would move north to make sure they take out all of the troops. They would then push out the Finns from Estonia and would then capture Helsinki, as they would quickly take over the Finnish lands. Finland would then surrender to the Swedish with the peace treaty now. The peace treaty would go as Latvia and Estonia with full annexation, and Åland would still remain as an autonomous state in the government. So after Sweden have won the war against Finland, they would now set their eyes on Norway, as that would give them more access to the rest of the world. Sweden would start moving through the Norwegian mountains with easily cutting off its tail, as it is very narrow area. They would then make it out to the sea and then land up here too and push in from the bottom. So they would then connect, and these lands would be taken easily. Sweden would easily take Svalbard from them, as there are no really military things out here, as I know. Sweden would continue to push up here, as they would also push in towards Oslo at the border and pushing here. The north would fall to the Swedes, as they have the more superior army, and the northern coast and western and northern coast will be lost, as Oslo is being threatened. Oslo would be taken by the Swedish army, and Norway would be forced to surrender. The peace treaty with Sweden annexing most of the lands and setting up a Norwegian puppet. And Sweden would also take Svalbard, and it would be an incorporated state. It has not a lot of autonomy as Norway gave it before. And now they're gonna do some colonizing. Sweden would declare war on Cuba, the Bahamas, Jamaica, Haiti, and Dominican Republic, as they are very good colonies. Sweden would land on Puerto Rico with ease, taking the island as well, landing on the Hispaniola. I don't know what to call this island actually, and would take the island with no problem as they don't have good militias. They would then take all of Bahamas and Jamaica. Cuba would be invaded as they would quickly lose their eastern half, and this island would be taken, and they would also get invaded from the west. Cuba would only be left with its north and would quickly be taken by the Swedes. The peace treaty will go with Sweden taking it all, so they would now have a Caribbean colony bigger than they would have before, because before they only had like this and this island. Yeah. Sweden would now set its sights to South America as they would now declare war on Argentina. This is a very large nation, so it maybe will not be easy, but these videos are always made, so it goes very good. Sweden would land in Argentina's tip as they would take this random bit of land they have, and they would push upwards into Argentina. They would then push north as Sweden would have a more powerful army with navy also making a landing here in the north and here on these islands. These landings would expand all outwards as they would capture great lands from the Argentinian nation. These would meet up with Buenos Aires falling to the Swedes, and Argentina knows they're doomed but will stand on a fight, but they still stand no chance. Argentina would then surrender, with now doing the peace treaty. Peace treaty would go as normal with all of the land getting annexed, and now Sweden would be on almost all continents. Sweden would now declare war on Nigeria, Benin, Togo, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Liberia, and these two I actually don't know what they're called, and Cameroon. Let's say they declare war on Burkina Faso. So this will be the biggest war Sweden has ever fought. Sweden will quickly make a landing in the west with ease, taking all these lands from these nations. Sweden would continue their push along the coast with also taking Ivory Coast. That makes sense, and probably their capital, since most African nations, I guess, have the capital at the coast. Sweden would just bulldoze through all of these. Also would make a landing here in Nigeria and Cameroon. They would do this. Burkina Faso, Ghana, and these two would surrender immediately as they know they have no chance of winning. Sweden would continue this push, and Cameroon would eventually surrender. Now it will be only Nigeria left, as they see all the other people have lost, and they would also surrender. This would be the peace treaty with full annexation as usual. Now Sweden would also set their eyes to south tip of Africa. Why is not Lesotho on this map? Weird. With declaring war against Angola, whatever nation this is, and these nations. YouTube. Malawi, and Madagascar. Forgot that one. Sweden would instantly push on the coast as they make their landing, and they would just push inwards and inwards with large force. Eventually, these two nations would surrender. Sweden would make a landing in Madagascar and quickly take the island, and the east coast would also be attacked. Malawi surrenders. This guy surrenders. Now it's only with these three, and they all three decide to surrender to the Swedish army. PG will go like this, full annexation. How else do they go? Now the Swedish Empire would be at its great extent. They already were when they took probably like Argentina. I think this will be it for this video, as my phone is almost gonna die and this empire has gotten really huge. So now I can say bye, have a great time, and we will see what my next empire video will be. See ya!